And my question to you guys is, because of technology and all the things we know and all the forecasting we can do and all that, have we gone too far with the hype machine and building some of these things up? Welcome to North Wright County Today, the podcast. I am your host, Mike Schomer, founder, editor, creator, man about town, North Wright County Today, formerly Patch.com, formerly Monticello Times. We could go all the way back to West Fargo Pioneer and Fargo Moorhead Magazine, for those of you that might tune in from days of yore. Down on the end on the left is Nick Schultz.
Hey there.
President of Deerwood Bank.
Yes.
And also man about town.
To the best of my ability.
EDA commissioner and volunteer treasurer.
I have a sash at home that says mayor, but it's not real. Diamond Joe Quimby.
And last but definitely not least, our hostess with the mostest, Sam Pfeiffer, Selfie Company. And that is where we record from every week, except for last week when I gave you guys a little break.
That was nice.
But it was super fun to catch up with Elena, and we posted that late Monday. For those of you that didn't see it, it's out there on social media. We had a little Zoom call. A little technical glitch. The sound is a little off from the video, so if you listen to it on Spotify, you won't know. But if you catch it on YouTube, you'll be like, "Why does this look like a Bruce Lee movie?" From
it's the dubs.
The dubbing looks a little off. Anyway, super cool to catch up with Elena, who's a SOAR alumni, who's now down at the Children's Theater. Again, that show runs through June, so get down there and check out Frozen and see a couple of our own. There's a couple of local folks in it, and Elena was the one who we caught up with. She's from Otsego and homeschools and is really just soaking it up, being in the ensemble for the first time. Super cool for her. So it is May.
Who's going to say it?
We can't even do the Justin Timberlake thing because it's already May.
It's already May. If only we had recorded yesterday.
May.
Yep. So I can't believe it. I think the year needs to slow down just a little bit. And I'm sure that's because I have a kid who's going to graduate.
Yes.
At the beginning of next month.
There's a lot of to-dos kind of in that last month.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. It is like, Sam was saying before we started the show, summer's over and it hasn't even started yet.
Yep.
And I say, spring is over, but it hasn't even started yet.
Right.
And summer, it's like, oh, we got, I look at I kind of do it by Fridays. What's going on this Friday?
Yeah.
What's going on this Friday? And it's like, I've got one open Friday. It's like, come on, man. So, it is May and we're kind of rolling through it here. What do you guys got coming up this spring? What are you looking forward to the most? We talked spring weeks ago and then got smacked over the head for it.
Yeah, sorry about
I feel
that.
like we're in good places now.
Yeah.
With 80s on the forecast for next week.
Yeah. No, I think getting the yard ready, freshening up mulch, getting a fire going in the backyard,
That feels the official.
Yes. Yeah. Perhaps if you're inclined, margarita season might be on the table.
Cinco de Mayo next Monday.
Next Monday.
There
We
you
have
go.
time for this?
After the show.
You make time for this.
I think after the show sounds great. Let's do it.
With that new Mexican restaurant soda. We'll have to do a live from there.
There we go.
There you go.
Speaking of live, we are kicking around the idea, and I think we're moving forward with this. I have approval from the matriarch of our little strip mall here that we can do a live show during Albertville Friendly City Days.
That will be great.
So if Sam wants to work with us on the equipment and
Totally.
and we'll get the table and we'll get the tablecloth out there and we'll do a little Facebook Live, and you guys can stop by and say hello. And it'll be Thursday, so things will just kind of be rolling. I don't know if the carnival will be going. Maybe we'll kick it to Friday.
My memory is that the Midway rolls into town like Wednesday and then
Right.
it's up and running by Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a little off-air production meeting instead of doing this on-air production meeting and talk about what we're going to do. I do believe we're going to do it in syncopation with the
Open house.
open house that
Okay.
you guys here
that'll be
have
great.
here, the little party. So, which will be fun. We'll have some stuff from Tree of Life and Health Source and Jersey Mike's and F45 and the other folks in here. Maybe even get Jeff to come back since he's got the satellite office out here and say hello to us and catch us up to speed on what's going on with the legislature and things like that. But yeah, I think it'll be cool to I'm a man of the people.
Yeah.
And you've got a mayor sash, so obviously you are.
I'll be in the wrong city. But
But yeah, I think it'd be super fun. So look for more information on that coming up that second week of June there, and we'll kick around some ideas of how we can broadcast live from the lovely parking lot or something here at
It'll be fun.
in Albertville, downtown Albertville. So just a couple of events to revisit. Mother's Day, guys.
Get
don't
on it.
forget. It's
If you're not
this
on it,
weekend,
you're
but
late.
It's not,
if you're not on it, you're late.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
you still have like 2 weeks.
You got like 8 days, 9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. May 11th. So
Next
Sunday,
Sunday.
May 11th. Lots of brunch specials going on.
Yep.
I did see our two favorites, Main Street Farmer and Homegrown, kick their stuff out there. So check that on social media. Buffets galore. And then, hit the stores for those flowers. I think one of the most memorable things for me with Mother's Day, with my kids, and I'm going to give a little shout out to a guy who I respect and admire, Dex Phillips, for those of you guys that know Dex.
Yeah.
Used to run a football camp with our friend Tim Roberts called Knights Academy.
Yeah.
And Dex would always he'd huddle all the kids up at the end of the practice because it would start in early May. And it would be on Saturday, and he'd huddle up the boys and he'd ask, what day tomorrow is? And, you'd get one kid who'd be like, Sunday! And Dex would be like, come on, it's Mother's Day tomorrow.
Right.
You gotta honor your mom tomorrow. You gotta, and he just had a wonderful speech, and I had it on video for the longest time, and I would show Cam, I'd be like, tomorrow's Mother's Day, you gotta do it right. You gotta treat your mom right. So Mother's Day, May 11th, don't forget. Sam, you better get some stuff from your kids. And
I get to spend it inside of a dance camp.
no,
Okay.
come on now.
Dance competition all day Sunday.
I mean, we've talked several times about how soccer dads and coaches were given the dirty look.
Yep.
Dance moms just don't care.
Dance moms don't
I
care.
never was able to schedule a tournament on Mother's Day.
Yeah, I will say Twin Cities Soccer League in their infinite wisdom did schedule us for a game on Mother's Day, so we'll have to start the day there,
Oh.
then hit brunch, then hit the flower
part of being a
shops.
mom.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, I will actually be at a soccer tournament. First time in 13 years of 12 years of the kid being in some sort of team soccer.
Yeah.
We're headed down to Sioux Falls for the Ohio tournament, which is a huge regional tournament down in my hometown of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's where I grew up. So Cam will be playing on the fields that I used to wear my miter cleats.
Oh, miter. There's a throwback.
Or Diodora.
Yes.
All brands that don't exist
Don't
anymore.
exist anymore. I think Miter still makes balls that they use in the FA Cup. I think that is the only thing that they do
In the
now,
FA
though.
Cup, yes.
Only in England.
Unbelievable. So anyway, it'll be cool to go home, and my mom's excited because
Oh, yeah.
haven't been home for a Mother's Day for a while. It's grandma's had to travel, so we're coming to her, and we'll do. But the caveat is she's got to sit through 3 soccer games, possibly 4. So, but yeah, Mother's Day coming up. Get those flowers, get those cards, get those brunch reservations.
Yep. Maybe a gift certificate to a store that sells athleisure.
There you
those
go.
types of things.
Spa.
Spa. Oh,
Spa.
Spa day. There
Spa
you go. Absolutely. So, want to give moms a shout out and make sure that anybody who's tuning in today remembers that. We talked about this earlier, Estimate Hall of Fame event. That'll be at Middle School West on May 19th, which is just less than 3 weeks away. Super cool to honor a legend, Greg Greeno and Dolores Helgeson, both just influencers here and shaped a lot of young minds here in town. And Greg, of course, one of the people responsible for establishing the wrestling legacy that's here at St. Michael Albertville. And then went on to coach a couple other things, football, cross country, things like that. So shout out to Greg, just a great dude. And then we do have the Big Top coming back to
yeah.
the Albertville Premium Outlets. So this is one we kind of, let's talk about it. Last year, it kind of showed up out of nowhere. There was, there was some discussion. There were a couple promotions, things like that.
Yeah. I think I saw a flyer.
Yeah.
That was it. And then all of a sudden there was a giant tent there.
Yeah, just big blue and white tent popped up, kind of outside of Levi's down there in that corner, close to the flags and the mall offices. So obviously the mall is only on the west side of 19.
Correct.
Now. The promenade is now closed, but they will throw up the tents again, and I believe they're going to be pretty close to the same area there. This year's show is a little different. Last year's show was water, or some variation of that, and got, I think pretty good reviews from the folks that went and enjoyed it. It's kind of got that, it's an Italian touring group. I should know the name of it. I don't have it in front of me, but kind of in the vibe of those Cirque du Soleil shows.
Yes, yeah.
Where there's a story kind of told throughout the performance. This year's show is called Paranormal. This is not, folks, so when you see the tents go up, those of you with kids under 14, you're gonna want to say, look, this is one mom and dad probably might go to, but not for you. Paranormal is kind of gory, kind of horror, kind of zombie, kind of Last of Us. What are some of the what was the Walking Dead?
The Walking Dead, World War Z. Yeah.
If you watch the videos, and we've posted the link on our social media, it is different, man. You got clowns chopping up bodies and some other stuff going on, horror type stuff. So you can get your tickets; they're discounted, but just
be aware.
Yes.
Be aware that this is not for your second, third, fourth graders. There's no elephants. There's no trapeze. Well, there will be trapeze artists, but it will be incorporated into the show that is very adult themed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, what do you guys think about that? Like an adult circus?
Well, I've been to them. Not one so gory and whatever, but I've been to adult Cirque du Soleils,
She's getting serious, folks.
I am getting
She's
serious.
off the
And they're
headphones.
fun. They're fun for adults, but they're definitely not meant for children. Or their eyes and ears are just too little for some of the things that go
I think
on.
I've been to probably 3 Cirque shows. 2 in Vegas and then one that was here. And all of those you could have brought your kids to. I mean, they were more acrobatic. But I'm also a big proponent of, do what you like. If that's your thing, if you're into zombies and you're into circuses, sounds like you're going to have a great night.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your niche, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I do enjoy the zombie genre, like movies, Train to Busan or any of those. I do enjoy that.
I mean, we could talk for a half hour about Last of Us and one of the most recent episodes. It was insane, and I posted on social media about it, like how somebody should have warned me. But anyway, I digress. The adult show, what's the big one? Absinthe?
Absinthe, yeah. It's a fun show.
Yeah?
I've been several times. When I mean several times, I mean every time I go to Vegas, I go to the show.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's fun. But yeah, it's very adultish. I mean, you just have to be aware of who is your kid though too? You're the parent, you're the judgment of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's coming. And I think that is actually Mother's Day weekend too.
Yeah.
So maybe not central to your Mother's Day activities. Maybe make it, hey, we're taking you to the show for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Unless mom's into zombies.
Yeah. Mom's
It's
really
her day.
into that sort of
It's
thing.
her day, Mike.
I'm not into zombies. I'm not. So we went to Universal Studios, and you can do like I don't know, what is that show where the zombies come at you?
Walking Dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a Walking Dead ride, right? And the zombies chase you. Did not enjoy it at all. And Mia was little at the time, and we went VIP, and she's like, Mia's like, should I do this? And the VIP is like, no, we're gonna hold you back. So yeah, if your kids can't do the zombie walk, they probably shouldn't go to the show.
Years ago, I don't think they do it anymore, but in Buffalo, during October every year, there was a zombie 5K. And you, as a participant in the race, had to run essentially a gauntlet through a trail system and not get tagged by a zombie. Otherwise, you were out.
No.
So not only did you have to make it the 5K, but you also had to survive the zombies.
That's an interesting twist.
What's the trail down south that everybody goes to?
Trail of Terror.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking to get a couple of those folks because there are, from what I've heard, a few kids from our area who go down and work as actors and things like that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And cool way to make money and scare the crap out of people.
Yeah, well, we went during COVID times, and so it was like you stay in your car.
Oh, yeah.
But they wanted you had your windows rolled down.
Right.
They wanted you to kind of experience it, but it was. There were a couple times where I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna roll this up."
So I didn't know. I'm not into scary things. So I go on the Jolly ride, right? And then you have to get off. And they're like, no, you have to go through the houses. I'm like, no, that was not part of the. Wait a sec. Where did I sign up for this? They're like, no, it ends here. Like, you have to walk through. And I'm like, I can't walk around. They're like, no, you have to walk through. So the first was when they did the psych ward. And I'm like screaming. I'm holding my daughter tight. And then finally, I think they realized that I was not enjoying it at all. So they just let me walk through without bugging me anymore. But,
they took pity on you.
They did. They're like, this poor woman, she's gonna have a heart attack. We're at the ambulance here. Like, just let her go.
That was sweet. That's very nice of them.
It is very nice. I don't think that's usual.
There are places that will not do that.
No.
I am not into those things at all. Lisa's daughter a couple years ago was just insistent that she was going to go. And Lisa's like, do you want to go? And I'm like, nah, However, there are a couple of them, the corn mazes and stuff, where you can just go sit at the bonfire while whoever you're with goes and gets terrorized. Nice. And I would totally do that.
Yeah. Duluth has a really solid one in Canal Park. They do the William A. Urban, the ship that's in Canal Park.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a haunted ship. And so you can just chill in Canal Park, have a coffee or whatever, hang out near the lake while whomever goes through the ship. But my understanding is you have to sign a waiver. It's not for kids younger than 16. It's pretty scary.
So I guess my question, and I was going to bring this up to talk about the paranormal thing. Why?
Why do you enjoy that? Yeah, I don't like.
I think of the meme with Ryan Reynolds going, but why? I just have never.
Is it the adrenaline that you guys like being scared? I don't know.
I mean, there are literally times, and Lisa can vouch for this, where I'm watching Last of Us and I'm going, I hate this. I hate this show. I cannot stand it. Why am I watching this?
I think if you were to interview people that do things that are a little bit dangerous for sport or whatever, you would find that their responses would be something to the effect of closer you are to a point where something bad could happen, the more alive
They
you
feel.
actually feel.
Yeah, that ain't me.
I feel alive every day. I don't need that. Yeah, no.
I mean, I've walked on a few mountain trails where you can look over the edge and you're like, and I'm like, that's good. That's probably as much anxiety and danger and anxiousness as I need in my life.
Yeah, the center, the processes danger in everybody's brain is different. The guy that soloed El Capitan without ropes, they did an MRI on his brain, and the part that processes danger just doesn't process danger the way everybody else's does.
That is, I think that's very, very true.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people who are just like, this is super fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
And as Sam and I can attest, obviously, no.
I don't even like roller coasters, so
that
whole feeling of like, no.
Throw me on any roller coaster in the world.
No.
Absolutely.
I don't do but that's a physical, ear balance thing.
Yeah.
I don't do the round and round thing because I just, but throw me on a roller coaster and drop me 7 stories straight down. Sure.
Oh yeah, super fun.
No, we did Guardians. I said the last time we went to Disney, I'm like, I'll do every ride. I'm gonna put my big girl panties on. I'm gonna do every ride. And so the first roller coaster is, what's the one that goes upside down? Aerosmith, right?
Oh, okay,
whatever that roller coaster is.
Disney, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's easy, right? It only goes fast when it takes off. And then this barbell comes down on you. And Mike starts laughing. He's like, oh, honey, you think this only goes fast. Like, this is not. And it goes like upside down. And I'm like, I'm out. The whole time. Even my kids are like, Mom, did you see any of it? I'm like, nope. I'm like this the whole time. Just
so that is being rebranded. I can't remember who.
The Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Muppet ride, which I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
I loved that ride. We actually ran to it. And my daughter Ellie, who at the time, the first time she went to Disney was, I believe, 8.
Okay. Good age.
Rode it twice with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no fear. So, horror movies, things like, she has the It Clown hanging in her room. So she's got one of those brains.
Yeah.
I'm going to run to, on that note, to
first sponsor.
A sponsor. If you injure yourself or something running through a corn maze or a haunted maze or something like that, or
get scared to death at the
feel like you need anxiety meds after watching Paranormal, check out Stellus Health. In all seriousness, check out Stellus Health. Man, they're awesome. You can, hit them with your family needs. You think about starting retirement, talking about starting college. We're gonna shout out the moms there. Women of every age. Stellus Health provides the full range of women's health care, from simple physical exams to complicated pregnancies to primary care, gerontology, everything in between. Stellus provides women with personalized, comprehensive care in the communities you live. With clinics in Buffalo and Monticello, same-day appointments, urgent care too. You can find out everything on stellushealth.com. Those clinics in Buffalo and Monticello are right next door to the central care systems there, Atlanta Hospital, Centricare. Great teams over there, midwifery, pregnancy, delivery. Stellus Health, neighbors caring for neighbors. Also want to check out what's going on at Deerwood Bank.
Yeah, it's been a fun week at the bank. Yeah, on Tuesday, we're at the St. Michael EDA breakfast.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was a fun time. So the EDA puts on a breakfast once a year, sometimes twice. It depends on what the schedule and the budget is. But and then we hear from different folks, either the county highway department or this last Tuesday was the Minnesota Workforce and Training Center, just about for employers and businesses in the area to learn about resources that are available to them. And so that was a ton of fun. Really good attendance. I think there's probably 100 people in the room, different businesses from the area. So good to see some people I hadn't seen in a while. And then our billboards are up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thankfully, they don't have my face on them. They are celebrating our.
I was so excited to make fun of you for that.
I know. It's like,
Who do you think you are?
they probably were worried that it was going to get vandalized just nonstop. And
Well,
so,
it is right outside one of my schools. So.
yeah. So, but we are celebrating our 5-star rating from Newsweek for best regional banks, and so I believe the tagline is nationally recognized, locally loved. Pretty excited about
I feel
that.
like love is a strong word for a bank.
For a bank.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty lovable.
It's the bank.
And so I tell my wife all the time.
Your marketing
reminding.
guy is going to be like, look, if Schomer is going to give you crap the whole time during your promo, we're done.
And then let's see, what else? So just it's been really, really kind of frankly busy with the warmer weather. I've been doing things, we're working in finance for 25 some years now, and when the weather gets warm, things get busy. And I think it's a lot of homeowners right now on the residential side that have really good mortgage rates on their house, so they don't want to move. But they're thinking, hey, it'd be kind of nice to have a maintenance-free deck or do some landscaping, those types of things. And so the folks that handle those home equity products have been pretty busy. And then on the commercial side, we've been really busy too. So
Good.
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I know for the business lunch, our friend Mr. Weigel gives an update on what's shaking in St. Michael. What's shaking in St. Michael?
Yeah, so a lot of houses. I think last year was probably a high since we saw a dip in COVID.
Yep.
But probably as high as it's been since kind of all the building leading up to the Great Recession. I think that the difference is now we're seeing a little more build to suit versus spec.
Right.
There's not inventory just sitting out there waiting to be gobbled
They're building
up.
as they buy.
Yeah, so a lot of that, and then a lot of business expansion on the industrial side. B&D has their new building in now. There's a site that is adjacent to them, kind of down near the bank, that is under contract as well. A couple of city lots that we discussed are going under contract as well. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Anybody exciting?
I am not at liberty to divulge,
Ooh, okay.
but
Well, we'll have to get
be-
Weigel on the show here and talk about some of the rivals. I did see a new announcement in Albertville, and I'm still working on Adam Nafstad to see if I can get the city
yes,
administrator from right here in beautiful Albertville on one of these days. Mr. Car Wash is coming there.
Oh, awesome.
On the, it'll be kind of kitty corner from the new Costco site. And obviously work is underway on Costco, if you haven't driven over there.
yeah, they're doing the dirt work.
Our local company Fane is doing all the dirt work there. Fane, want to say it correctly there, not the rap song that they play at every home football game, but yeah, a lot of site work happening and people getting excited. And I actually made my way down to the Maple Grove Costco, and
Sorry.
you got to do it.
Yes,
like, you got to
I know,
suck it up.
I
And
know.
you're like, all right, look,
It's an adventure.
I need my case of 48 water bottles or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was getting my card done, and the counter worker there was like, "We can't tell you how excited we are for Otsego to open
Oh, I'm sure it'll take pressure
because
off
the
them.
pressure here is not sustainable anymore. Because Maple Grove is growing, Dayton is growing, Rogers is growing.
Yeah.
They're just getting slammed.
Yeah.
And I mean, one visit there tells you all you need to know.
The parking lot is huge and it's constantly full. Like you're parking like a block away from Costco.
Yeah, and it seems like when I go there, it's for things I could get elsewhere, but I like to get them in bulk, get a little better price. And so like we don't skip egg day in our house. Like I eat eggs probably once a day. And you know, when I get there and I deal with all of that and then I get to the cooler and they're sold out of eggs, it's just the worst.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, you know, Costco, obviously, for those of you that know the business model and things like that, and have read about what they do and why they're so successful at what they do. And really, you know, for those that lament growth, Costco is not the worst thing to have come into your community.
No.
They are great. And anyway, what I'm getting at is you know, you talk about their business model, and the big thing that people come in for, one of the things, eggs being one. The other is what comes first, chicken or the egg. The rotisserie
chicken, the lost leader.
The $4.99.
Yeah.
And they're in bags now. They're a little bit of a different thing.
No, they went back. Did you see? There's a guy that was like, he was fighting that bag issue.
No, really?
He was so mad about the bag that they actually went back to the container.
Container inside the bag? Because I did see the bag.
I don't know. Maybe
I
they're
didn't
still
buy one.
transitioning, but like people were upset about the bag.
That's a talker right there.
Yeah.
National talker. Bag or container. Anyway, they were out. And like that is something you never see.
Yeah.
You know, that like you said, it's their lost leader, but it's part of their business model. Like we get you in the store, we throw them all the way in the
back. Absolutely.
You gotta walk through the store to get it. You know, it's the reason the milk's in the back of your grocery store or Target. You know, you gotta walk through the store to get it.
Yeah.
They were gone. And that doesn't work for their business model. And so, you know, to see the Otsego store and hear from the employees, they get it. They know. They're like, we need that thing to relieve some pressure here. And so it will be different.
Yeah.
But it will be a huge resource for this community.
Yeah. And I know, you know, this maybe makes me uncool, but I do buy some clothes at Costco as well.
Absolutely not.
I know there's a brand called Worry, you know, pretty expensive athleisure. You probably spend $100 for a pair of sweatpants, or you can get the Kirkland knockoffs for like $14.99.
Right. But, you know, you can walk into Costco every once in a while. They'll have Buffalo, which is a good brand. They'll have Adidas. They'll have Nike.
Yeah.
They've got, you know, University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Ski-U-Mah. Go Sydney. I'm going to be wearing more U of M stuff around my house. They've got tables of that. Vikings, Wild. You know, you want to get donned up for a game before you go. They've always got that. So, yeah, no shame in buying some Costco clothing.
Have you ever been to the business Costco?
No.
They're actually kind of cool. There's one in Minneapolis. That's the only one I know of. But yeah, it's pretty cool in there.
I have heard of when we were out in Seattle last summer. Of course, you know, Costco being West Coast based.
Yeah.
I have not been, but again, like those aisles with the business stuff. If you've got a small business or something like that, just some of the stuff they have is just great. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother-in-law works for Costco in their Chicago office.
Right.
And he's been a buyer or a buyer's assistant for a lot of different departments. The best was when he was a buyer for the alcohol division.
Yeah.
Because all of these alcohol producers would give them samples, and he didn't drink.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, and so he's like, I can't legally resell it. So we'll bring it to Nick's house when he
Throwing it in the
visit.
back of the car when we go to Minneapolis. There you go. You know, that said, we always encourage you to support small businesses and things like that are out there. The wonderful thing about Costco is they do. So I think that's one of the reasons the Otsego City Council was super supportive of them coming, is they just supply things to small businesses to make them better and effective.
Have you, even like, I was looking in the gift card section. So Costco, if you're listening, reach out to me. So there's a gift card section, and even Pour, which is a small establishment, as we know, local, you know, restaurant in Elk River, and they have gift cards. They sell gift cards for Pour at Costco. So yeah, they are really big supporters of small businesses in the local area.
Which Blue Plate franchise, which is a local franchise, always has gift cards there. 3 Squares, Maple Grove, shout out to them.
Yeah, the Lowry.
One of my favorite spots, and shout out to Eric, the bartender. Yeah, you can always get the you know, pay $75 for a $100 gift card or whatever.
Yeah.
Super cool. Anyway, did not mean to go down that track for that long, but that's pretty cool. We got to get to a couple other sponsors here. Let's shout out Peggy Shum, who is probably surfacing for air and enjoying the sun for the first time.
Yeah, I have seen some of her
Some
staff.
moments,
They are alive.
They are and well.
I mean, it is May. Let's hope they're getting out of the woods. But look, if you don't have those taxes done, or you have tax questions, or you know, concerns about your rebate, or want to take a second look at it, or whatever, Peggy Shum's right here in town, and she's just top notch, man. And we're super lucky for the hundreds of small business owners here in North Wright County today region that you have a resource like Peggy Shum. You want to do your business efficiently and effectively with one of the local people who knows tax laws and knows how to do the best things for you? Contact Peggy, because she's been at this for a long time and working with North Wright County today for nearly a decade. And you want personal service, you got it. You want to drop off something and not think about it, that's me. She can do that too. Located in St. Michael, Peggy Shum CPA. She is looking at your property statements right now, prepping 2024 taxes if you've got an extension. Get it done by someone who's local, involved, and a lifelong STMA resident. CPAPSS.com or give her a call 763-497-7817. Selfie Company, man, we have been talking prom since we started this thing in February, and now it is prom weekend.
It is prom.
It's here.
Well, it's been
It's here.
prom. So last weekend we bought a second 360. So last weekend we were at I was at an Edward Jones event, and Mikey started prom in Cold Spring, and then I joined him in Cold Spring. And this weekend we have prom, of course, St. Michael, Albertville prom, and
Rogers.
and Rogers prom. And then we just got hired for Elk River prom. So yeah, we
Ooh.
still have
Hey,
three
shout out
more
Elk River.
weekends.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually pretty excited. So it's super fun. So we'll be at STMA, our Minneapolis Event Center, Saturday, and we'll be at the Heritage Center Saturday, and then next Saturday we'll be back at the Heritage Center. And even here we have a little pre-prom party going on. We have DJ Josh from Soul Founders here, and Dunn Brothers will be here with Dirty Sodas, and yeah, it'll be a good time.
Awesome. And what time does that start?
2 to 5.
2 to
Because
5.
I thought then the girls can get ready, they can be all dressed and cute and get here and have some fun, and then we have limos picking some kids up here and headed off to wherever they want to go.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, what, dinner, then you hit the dance?
Yeah, it should be
There
fun.
you go. You got your guy going?
No. We he punted, so I didn't have to buy like a suit or anything. Yeah, both of I think he'll probably go next year. My daughter didn't go junior year either.
Okay.
And went senior year, but yeah, just I don't know. He's got a tournament this weekend, and kind of when I kind of laid out how it would have to work for him logistically, he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that."
Oh, my daughter took it all on. We have
Yeah.
a dance competition Friday night, so we have to be there at 4. She dances whatever, and we're there till 11, and then she has to be back at 7 in the morning for dance competition. We're gonna drive home, get her dressed, get her ready, pictures
Yeah.
to be on, and then dance competition Sunday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we have to
full-blown
be
weekend.
We have to be at the field, win, lose, or draw at 7:15 a.m. on Sunday morning.
Oh yeah.
And so
That's tough.
that was just not going to be a thing for him.
Not going to happen. Yeah. Well,
No.
should be, for the first time in a little while, a gorgeous day. It looks
Yes.
like it's
Yeah.
about 75 and sunny.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from experience from taking pictures and things like that, because I've always said I'm perpetually in high school.
Mm-hmm.
There have been days it snowed. So,
Yeah.
I remember the girls getting out of the cars in their dresses and just, it's snowing. And it's like, yeah, sorry.
And you can
Yeah.
still take your pictures at the selfie company, even though it's pretty
Yes,
outside.
indoors.
Come here, have
Indoors.
some fun, go take some outside.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Combine it all.
Highly recommend it. It could rain at any moment. You never know. Which
It is Minnesota.
Is
Right.
going to get us into our last talker here. So I've heard this talk about on a few stations and things like that. So Monday was April 28th. I
That
believe.
is correct. Yeah.
We were supposed to have pretty
The ultimate
pretty gnarly
storm.
weather.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was is my buddy halfway through the day texts me from a weather app. He's like, "Look at where all the storm spotters are assembled. And if you use a certain app, it'll show you where the tornado chasers and stuff
Yeah.
are doing their live streams
Yep.
from." And they were all down by Mankato. And I'm like, if it stays down there, what's going to happen here?
Right.
Which is basically what happened.
Mhm.
Right.
Obviously canceled, a lot of games. We had Minneapolis, of course, let school out early.
Yep.
Not quite sure what other districts did, but I know Minneapolis was the big one. St. Michael, Albertville obviously canceled many events, my district also canceled some events. Practices moved indoors, things like that. So the discussion that I've heard is there was a lot of lead up. You know, it wasn't like you got up and watched the Fox 9 News on Monday morning and they were talking about it. It was like if you tuned into Bell on Saturday, they were talking about what was coming Monday. And my question to you guys is, you know, because of technology and all the things we know and all the forecasting we can do and all that, have we gone too far with the hype machine and building some of these things up? Because we've seen it with winter storms.
Yeah, and that's where I see it the most.
And we've seen it now with summer storms too, where it's like, you know, batten down the hatches, you know. I brought in furniture, things like that we had to put out.
And I think I talked to an old roommate of mine who was a meteorology major in college, and he said that, you know, kind of you're forecasting based on conditions and probability. And the conditions were such that this was probably our highest risk in a long time, like probably more than 10 years. And so
2011 was the last time. You know, I don't know what scale it is, but we were in the bullseye.
And so, you know, from a conditions standpoint, to be right for something to be pretty bad, the conditions were right. What we didn't get was the sunshine that would have added a lot of energy to the atmosphere, he said, which then would have had a kind of a warm piece of air that the cold front was going to bump into and cause problems. And so I would say, relative to your question on hype, it kind of depends on which channel you're watching too. One channel is going to tell you we're going to get 3 to 5 inches. Another channel is going to say 4 to 6, and then you just switch to another one, and it's a Class 5 winter kill storm.
Right.
You know, and I don't know. I think that for something like weather, I think it should be something where we don't have spin, we don't have agenda, and that's just my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, I've even talked to people in retail, grocery business, things like that, and it impacts them obviously. You know, you hear on Saturday there's a storm coming on Tuesday, you might order a little more bread and milk, you know, because that's what everybody runs to. I don't understand it. You know, it's kind of like the toilet paper thing during COVID. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You're not.
If you needed 2 weeks worth of toilet paper, you should have seen a doctor a while ago.
I think social media has driven a lot of this.
Yes.
For not just weather, it's like everything is so hyped up. Everything's so like detrimental, you know, like.
Absolutely. And you know, we are living in society that loves to deal with the extremes.
Right.
But I think you're spot on. You know, there's certain thing where it's like, hey, here's the probability, but do we need to lead the news off on Sunday about something that could come Monday night?
Right. Yeah, and what was crazy, we did get a fair amount of rain around 4 or 5 o'clock, but then my son had a practice that didn't start till I think it was like 8 or 8:15. It was gorgeous when he had a practice.
Could have easily,
66
done a lot
degrees.
of things.
My daughter's dance was, now mind you, they have a dance competition coming up, so like it is serious when you cancel dance. Mia's like, oh, what's coming, Mom? She canceled dance today. She was, and to the point where like even that morning, like I didn't even know anything about it until I'm like scrolling through TikTok, and then I'm like, what is this storm coming?
Right.
So I like my poor husband and my poor son, I'm like, okay, we got to clean out the garage because that's all my crafting stuff from the studio in there. So they spent 2 hours like hauling stuff back and forth, and like so we can get the cars in there just so they don't get hail damage. And I'm like, and then nothing. So then my husband and son both looked at me like, really, Mom?
My daughter down in Ames did have a different experience
that
evening. She said that the apartment building was shaking with the thunder and wind, and when I looked at the radar, it was a big bow echo, so you would assume probably straight line wind coming through there, and happily no hail on her car because she doesn't have indoor parking down there. But
I mean, there is no doubt that Ames Des Moines area is now part of that Tornado Alley.
Nebraska.
You know, possibly more than it was 8-9 years ago.
I did watch the new Twisters movie on Sunday night, you know, to prepare.
So did my husband. Yeah.
And it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a little over the top.
Oh, for sure.
Very much pays
What?
homage
We're all going to run to underground pool and hang on to
We're gonna go to a theater.
Yeah.
a rodeo.
I used to work for a theater. I can tell you, it's not necessarily the place you want to be.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you have to get information from a couple of different places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the weather apps can lead you a little bit astray. Whether what you're looking at, AccuWeather or WeatherBug or Weather Channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume it's like anything else. You use your best judgment.
Yeah.
You've lived here a while. You know the experience. You kind of know what hits, what doesn't. No, the nuclear reactor in Monticello does not affect the weather. So just
Is that a thing?
yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of conspircy
The
theories
chemtrails?
out there.
Oh,
that,
chemtrails.
Yeah, or chem.
Okay.
We don't want to go down that road.
Was there? There was just a thought that like there was some sort of atmospheric emission that would affect weather, or?
Right. Yeah. The amount of heat and things that
boy.
that the plant gives off, the steam and things like that. Obviously, the water is discharged into the river, so it definitely impacts the river more so than the atmosphere. But yeah, that was a long time theory, and then I believe it was the second year I was working at the Monticello Times. We got nailed by a couple tornadoes and some really bad lightning, and and it was like, so much for that theory. So. But all right. Well.
My daughter's in a stats class, and one of the questions is can meteorologists predict 0% chance of whatever, or 100% chance? And I was like, absolutely. Look at what's happening now. The radar is all over. It's all gonna. Of course, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one can predict anything, even with radar.
Definitively, 0 and 100% shouldn't exist, but they do.
1 to 64 inches possible, maybe.
It's always the best meme for every snowstorm. We could evidently develop one for rain now.
Yeah.
0 to 3 inches.
Or F3 tornadoes.
Flash flooding.
Yeah. I did come prepared, though. So as this was happening, I ordered a sign, just in case we got hail damage, that sits in front of my door that says, "No soliciting unless you're a kid."
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the calls.
Oh, man. I mean, what did we have? Like pea-size hail last summer for about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And it was just boom.
Yeah, there were a few folks in my neighborhood that got new roofs, and I can tell you I was awake during that storm, and the pea-sized hail was not damaging.
Might not have been peas. It's like the ice you get at Starbucks, with your little drink there.
Yeah.
Be careful of those guys. They are tricky, and I didn't know this, so just warning to anybody, like if they call you and they're like, oh, we'll do a roof inspection for free, right? Well, once they do that and they submit it to your insurance will go up even if you don't take the claim.
Oh, goodness.
So be aware of them.